नमस्सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य प्रौढमनोरमायां परिभाषाप्रकरणे प्रथमः पाठः। परिभाषाप्रकरणं सिद्धान्तकौमुद्यां द्वितीयं प्रकरणं। प्रथमं तावत् संज्ञाप्रकरणं, यत्र कासाञ्चन प्रमुखसंज्ञानां विधायकसूत्राणि व्याख्यातानि दीक्षितैः। प्रसंगवशात् अन्यान्यपि सूत्राणि पूर्वत्रासिद्धम् इत्यादीन्यपि व्याख्यातानि। इदानीं परिभाषा प्रकरणं। का नाम परिभाषा? व्हाट इज अ परिभाषा? अनियमे नियमकारिणी परिभाषा इति लक्षणम्। So paribhasha is one that establishes a rule where there is no rule. That is, there is nothing. Say for example, लुङ् लङ् ऋङ् ष्वडुदात्तः इत्युच्यते। लुङ् लकारे लङ् लकारे लृङ् लकारे च अट् इति आगमः विधीयते धातोः। So we have an agama called at. Agama is something to be added. So there is an agama at which occurs in lung, lang and lung lakara. So now where should we add this? At is akara agama. So should we add this before the dhatu, after the dhatu, before the lakara, after the lakara? There is no niyama. Niyamaha nasti. Tatra adyantau takitau iti paribhasha upayuज्यते. किमुच्यते परिभाषया? टकितौ टित् कितौ यस्य उक्तौ तस्य क्रमात् आद्यन्तावयवौ स्तः। टित् अत्र अट् इति टित् आगमः, यस्य उक्तं धातोः उक्तः तस्य आद्यवयवः, अतः अभवत् अभूत् इत्यत्र धातोः आदौ अट् इति आगमः क्रियते। So aniyame niyamakarini paribhasha. A paribhasha is one that establishes a rule where there is none. So this is basically the rule for interpreting the rules. Okay. Vidhi sutranam arthakarane paribhashanam prayojanam. To extract the right meaning out of vidhi sutras, we require paribhashas. That is why we call it as the interpretive rules, or the meta rules. Okay. So samnya and paribhasha, they do not have an independent existence. Okay. Both we saw that pararthya nirnaya samnyayaha. Samnya is always for parartha, for the vidhi. I mean, there is no point in just naming something. You use it somewhere and that is when it gets its meaning. Similarly with paribhasha, samnya paribhasha, ubhayoh api pararthyameva, vidhi sutyarthatvam. So they are always meant for an interpretation of the vidhi sutra, and they are subservient to the vidhi sutras. Okay. So atra paribhasha इत्युक्ते परिभाषा सूत्राणि सन्ति। पाणिनिना अष्टाध्याय्यामेव तत्र सूत्राणि कृतानि। तथैव अन्याः अपि परिभाषाः सन्ति। देयर आर आल्सो अदर रूल्स। सो परिभाषा इज जस्ट अ रूल, एज वी सेड, अनियमे नियमकारिणी। सो पाणिनिना नोक्तानि साक्षात्, तथापि भाष्यकृताङ्गीकृतानि अथवा शास्त्रे अङ्गीकृतानि सन्ति। सो दोस् आर कॉल्ड एज द परिभाषा, सेपरेट परिभाषास। वी हैव अ सेपरेट टेक्स्ट फॉर इट कॉल्ड द परिभाषेन्दु शेखर। I mean, there are many texts which deal with paribhashas. One of those is the Paribhashendu Shekhara by Nagesha Bhatta. So they deal with such paribhasha. I mean, not directly the sutras, not the paribhasha sutras, but other paribhashas which are used in Vyakarana and all that. So now let's come to the paribhasha prakarana of the Siddhanta Kaumudi, wherein Dikshita brings together a few of the important paribhasha sutras which are useful in general throughout Vyakarana. तत्र प्रथमं सूत्रमस्ति इको गुणवृद्धि इति। अष्टाध्याय्याः प्रथमाध्यायस्य प्रथमपादे तृतीयमिदं सूत्रम् इको गुणवृद्धि। कोऽर्थः? What is the meaning of this sutra? Can somebody recollect the sutrartha?
Hello. वदामि वा?
उच्यताम्। Yes.
इको गुणवृद्धि इति सूत्रं द्विपदात्मकम्। इकः इति षष्ठ्यन्तानुकरणम्। इत्युक्ते इकः, इकसि, इकांसि इति शब्दरूपाणि भवन्ति, तस्य षष्ठ्यन्तानुकरणं भवति। यस्मिन् सूत्रे गुणशब्दमुच्चार्य गुणविधानं भवति, यस्मिन् सूत्रे वृद्धिशब्दमुच्चार्य वृद्धिविधानं भवति, तर्हि तत्र इकः इति षष्ठ्यन्तं पदम् उपतिष्ठते इति सूत्रस्य आशयः।
धन्यवादः। तदेव गुणवृद्धिशब्दाभ्याम् यत्र गुणवृद्धिः विधीयते तत्र इकः इति षष्ठ्यन्तं पदम् उपतिष्ठते इति सूत्रार्थः. So the plain meaning which we understand, the simple meaning is that vriddhi or guna replaces ik. Okay. So but how exactly is the wording phrased? Okay. सूत्रार्थः कथं किमर्थम् एवं रीत्या लिखितः तथा नोच्यते दीक्षितैः गुणवृद्धि इकः स्थाने भवतः इति नोक्तम्. Right. So he does not say phrase the sutrartha that way. Why? किमर्थम् किमुक्तं कौमुद्यां गुणवृद्धि शब्दाभ्यां यत्र गुणवृद्धि विधीयेते तत्र इकः इति षष्ठ्यन्तं पदम् उपतिष्ठते. So where there is a vidhana of guna or vriddhi by the words guna or vriddhi. Guna iti ucharya yatra gunah vidhiyate, vriddhihi iti ucharya yatra vriddhihi vidhiyate. Arthat sutre, for this paribhasha to operate, the sutra, the vidhi sutra should carry the words gunaha or vriddhihi. Gunaha bhavati athava vriddhihi bhavati ityeva vidhanam syat. Okay? So tatra ikaha iti षष्ठ्यन्तं padam upatisthate. Okay? So there, to the sutra, to the words of the sutra, we add the word ikaha. Okay. So what does this mean? Mider gunaha iti sutram asti. Midehe, mid iti dhatuh, tasya gunaha bhavati. Sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoh parayoh iti. No, sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka iti agre bhavati. Mider angasya ikaha gunaha syat iti uchyate. Midehe gunaha ityasti. So mid will have guna. Okay. Kasya gunaha bhavati. Mid ityatra makarah asti, ikarah asti, dakarah asti. Trayaha varnaha santi. Tatra kasya gunaha iti aniyamaha. Aniyame niyamakarini paribhasha ityaktatvat niyama vidhiyate ikaha bhavati. Yatra gunaha ityucharya. So it says guna. So when there is guna being told by the word guna, ikaha iti षष्ठ्यन्तं padam upatisthate. So we add the word ikaha in the sutrartha. So angasya ityadhikarah. So mider angasya ikaha gunaha bhavati. So the ik letter which is a part of mid will get guna. So mid ityatra ikarah ik pratyahare antarbhavati. Atah ikarasya gunaha antaratamyat ekarah. Adeng gunaha ityanena akara ekara ओकाराणां गुणसंज्ञा विद्यते तत्र आन्तरतम्यात् एकारः गुणः मेद्यति इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. सिमिलर्ली मृजेर् वृद्धिः इति सूत्रमस्ति. सो मृज इति धातोः वृद्धिः भवति. कस्य वर्णस्य भवति? इकः भवति. सो अगेन वी से द इक लेटर ऑफ मृज विल गेट वृद्धि. तेन मृज इत्यस्ति ऋकारस्य वृद्धिः नाम आकारः. Okay, uran raparaha ityanena repaparaha. So the vriddhi for rikara is a I au ityasti. Tatra akaraha vriddhihi bhavati uran raparaha. Rikarasya sthane vidhiyamanaha an repaparaha bhavati. Raparaha bhavati ityaktatvat ar. So marj iti bhavati agre marshti iti rupam siddhyati. So these two are the examples of operation of the paribhasha. Guna vriddhi shabdabhyam mider gunaha ityatra gunam ucharya मृजेर वृद्धिः इत्यत्र वृद्धिः इति उच्चार्य यत्र गुणवृद्धि विधीयते. अस्मिन् सूत्रे गुणः विधीयते अत्र वृद्धिः तत्र इकः इति षष्ठ्यन्तं पदम् उपतिष्ठते. सो वी ऐड द वर्ड इकः. इको गुणः इकः इति षष्ठ्यन्तं पदम्. द षष्ठी विभक्ति ऑफ इक इज इकः. सो वी ऐड ऑन द वर्ड इकः. सो मिदेः अंगस्येत्यधिकारः इकः गुणः स्याद् इति सूत्रार्थः. एवं मृजेः अंगस्य इकः वृद्धिः इति सूत्रार्थः. Right? So this is an example of operation of इको गुणवृद्धि. तदुपरि इदानीं मनोरमायां व्याख्यातं गुणवृद्धि शब्दाभ्याम् इति. So गुणवृद्धि शब्दाभ्याम् यत्र गुणवृद्धि विधीयेते इत्युच्यते तत् कथम्? So how do we have this? Because the sutra just says इकः गुणवृद्धि. गुणवृद्धि इकः इत्येव अस्ति. So the sutrartha carries the word gunavriddhi twice. Gunavriddhi shabdabhyam gunavriddhi vidhiyete tat katham. So how do you get such a sutrartha? Etacha purva sutrabhyam gunavriddhi pade anuvartya guno vriddhiriti ye gunavriddhi iti yojanaya labhyate. Purva sutrabhyam. by the two earlier sutras. So the third sutra of the first pada. Prathamam sutram kim, dvitiyam sutram kim, prathamadhyayasya prathamapadasya prathamam sutram kim, dvitiyancha sutram kim, vruddhiradait adeng gunaha. इको गुणवृद्धि इति सूत्रक्रमः वृद्धिरादैच् इत्येव आरभ्यते अष्टाध्यायी सो वृद्धिरादैच् अदें गुणः इको गुणवृद्धि अतः पूर्वसूत्राभ्याम् अर्थात् वृद्धिरादैच् इति सूत्रात् अदें गुणः इति च सूत्रात् गुणवृद्धि पदे अनुवर्त्य we take वृद्धिः as the अनुवृत्ति and गुणः as the अनुवृत्ति so गुणवृद्धि पदे अनुवर्त्य गुणो वृद्धिरिति ये गुणवृद्धि इति योजनया लभ्यते. So now we have iko guna vriddhi. By anuvritti we have gunaha vriddhihi. So how do we relate it? Guno vriddhihi iti ye guna vriddhi. Gunaha iti vriddhihi iti. Tateva guna vriddhi shabdabhyam iti uktam. So yojanaya labhyate. That is how we get the repeat of guna vriddhi. Why do we need it? Why don't we just say yatra gunaha vriddhihi tatra ikaha iti shashtantam padam upatisthate. Tena ihana diva out dyauhu. दिवा औत् इति सूत्रम् दिवः अङ्गस्य औकारः औत् नाम औकारादेशः स्यात् कस्य आदेशः भवति औकारः वृद्धिसंज्ञकः राइट सो दिवः अङ्गस्य औकारादेशः औ इस् वृद्धि वृद्धिरादैच् इत्यनेन औकारस्य वृद्धिसंज्ञा अस्ति अतः इकः भवति वा सो शुड वी से द सिंस इट इस् वृद्धि इवन दो द सूत्र डज नॉट से वृद्धि औकार इस् वृद्धि वृद्धि सम्यकः अतः अत्र दिव इत्यत्र इकारस्य वृद्धिर्भवतु इति आशंका राइट सो दैट इज व्हाई दे से गुणवृद्धि शब्दाभ्याम यत्र वृद्धिः इति उक्त्वा यत्र वृद्धिः विधीयते सो वेयर द सूत्र स्टेट्स दैट देयर विल बी वृद्धि लाइक इन ऋजेर् वृद्धिः सिचि वृद्धिः इत्यादि यत्र वृद्धि शब्दम् उपयुज्य वृद्धि विधानं क्रियते तत्रैव अस्याः परिभाषायाः प्रवृत्तिः यत्र साक्षात् वृद्धि संज्ञकः कश्चित् वर्णः विधीयते इफ देयर इज डायरेक्ट आदेश ऑफ आ ऐ और औ विथाउट स्टेटिंग इट एज वृद्धि then we will not operate this paribhasha. That is why that term गुणवृद्धि शब्दाभ्याम यत्र गुणवृद्धि विधीयते. अतः अत्र यद्यपि औकारः वृद्धि संज्ञकः तथापि वृद्धिः इति न विहितः अतः इयं परिभाषा न प्रवर्तते. अलोन्त्यस्य इत्यनेन अन्तादेशः औकारः. If you look at the prakriya of द्यौः दिव इति प्रातिपदिकात् सुप्रत्ययः दिव औत् इत्यनेन वकारस्य स्थाने औकारः. We apply अलोन्त्यस्य so it will be the final letter दि औ स् इत्यस्ति. इको यणचि इत्यनेन यणादेशे द्यौस् ऋत्वे विसर्गे च द्यौः इति रूपम्. Okay, so if in the absence of that, in the absence of anuvritti of gunaha vriddhihi and adding it onto the sutrartha, even here the vriddhi would have had to replace, that is the aukara would have had to replace the ikara and not the vakara. The intended sthani is vakara, not ikara. Right? So tena ihana diva out dyauho त्यदादीनामः सह इमम्. त्यदादीनाम् अह त्यदादयः सर्वनामसु अन्तर्गणः त्यद् तद् यद् एतद् इदम् अदस् एकाद्वि इति अष्टौ त्यदादयः तेषाम् अकारः आदेशः भवति विभक्तौ इति सूत्रार्थः. Now this akara is a guna, right? Guna letter. अदें गुणः इत्यनेन अकारस्य गुणसंज्ञा अस्ति. तर्हि कुत्र भवेत् इति चेत् so त्यदादीनाम् अङ्गस्य अकारादेशः विधीयते. So यद्यपि अकारः गुणसंज्ञकः even though akara is guna तथापि गुणशब्देन न विहितः. गुणः भवति इति नोक्तम् अकारः भवति इति साक्षात् उक्तम्. अतः इयं परिभाषा न प्रवर्तते. तत्रापि अलोन्त्यस्य इत्यनेन अन्तादेशः अकारः. किमुदाहरणं सह इमम्. Can somebody give the prakriya for सह? सह इत्यस्य निष्पत्तिः कथम्? तद् इति प्रातिपदिकात् सुप्रत्ययः क्रियते. त्यदादीनाम् अह अलोन्त्यस्य इत्यनेन अन्त्यस्य दकारस्य आदेशः अकारः. त अ स्. अतो गुणे इत्यनेन पररूपे त स् अस्ति. तदोत्सत्सावनं चयोः इत्यनेन तकारस्य स्थाने सकारः. अकारदकारस्थाने सकारादेशः सो स ऋत्वे विसर्गे सः इति रूपम् सो अत्र अस्याः परिभाषायाः प्रवृत्तिः नास्ति यतोहि गुणस्य विधानं न साक्षात् अकारस्य विधानम् सो सिमिलर्ली ही गिव्स imam as the second example. So why does he go to the second example? Tadu ityasya igvarnah nasti. So even assuming that when you give an example it should be perfect, right? So here there is no ik, even if you operate the paribhasha, ik varnah nasti, right? Iko guna vruddhi iti paribhashayaः प्रवृत्तावपि अत्र igvarnah nasti. नास्ति इत्यतः एव अस्याः परिभाषायाः प्रवृत्तिः नास्ति अन्त्यस्य दकारस्य क्रियते इति यदि उच्यते तर्हि यत्र इग्वर्णः दृश्यते तदुदाहरणं दर्शयन्ति दीक्षितः. The only reason why Dikshiter goes for a second example anywhere, the same is the case through the Kaumudi and the Manorama. If he takes up a second example, there is something with the first. Why the first example would not be very convincing. Okay, so that is the only reason he goes in for a second example. So अतः एव यत्र इग्वर्णः अस्ति तादृशम् उदाहरणं प्रयच्छति इदं शब्दः. इदं शब्दात् अम् प्रत्ययः क्रियते द्वितीया विभक्तौ एकवचने. अत्र यदि इको गुणवृद्धि इति परिभाषायाः प्रवृत्तिः तर्हि इकारस्य स्थाने स्यात् अकारः. So if we operate iko gunavriddhi here, the akara would have to replace ikara, which is not intended. अत्रापि अलोन्त्यस्य इत्यनेन अन्तादेशः एव भवति अकारः. यतोहि अत्र इको गुणवृद्धि इति परिभाषायाः प्रवृत्तिः न भवत्येव. गुणः इति विधानाभावात्, गुण इत्युच्चार्य विधानाभावात् परिभाषा न प्रवर्तते. अन्तादेशः अकारः. इद अम् अतो गुणे इति पररूपे इद अम् इत्यस्ति. अमिपूर्वः इत्यनेन पूर्वरूपे इदम्. दश्च इत्यनेन दकारस्य मकारादेशे इमम् इति रूपम्. Okay. So in both these cases, in cases like diva out, even though aukara is vruddhi, we do not operate the paribhasha. In chadadinamaha, even if akara is guna, we do not operate the paribhasha. So the paribhasha operates only where the sutra says there is guna or there is vruddhi. Guna vruddhi shabdabhyam yatra guna vruddhi vidhiyete tatra ikaha iti shashthyantam padam upatisthate. Okay, so the first part is clear. Guna vruddhi shabdabhyam yatra guna vruddhi vidhiyete. Ikaha iti shashthyantam padam upatisthate iti sutrarthaha. He does not say ikaha sthane bhavataha. He says ikaha is a shashthanta word. So the word itself will go and sit there. Okay, in the sutrartha, when you are doing the sutrartha, sutramasti. So sutra sthani padani santi, anuvritya kanichana padani labhyante, paribhashaya kanichana padani labhyante. Okay, so he says this paribhasha will provide the shashthanta word ikaha to the sutra. The sutra will include this in the sutrartha and then the sutra will be interpreted. Okay, we do not directly say ikaha sthane bhavati. Okay, why? So there is a reason. Shashthyantam padam upatisthate iti. Okay, sutre shashthyantasya anukaranat shabdaswarupa parataya napumsakat sorluk iti bhavaha. So in sutra it is not shashthanta. Iko gunavriddhi ityatra ikaha iti yat shruyate tad vastutah prathamantam. That is, it is a anukarana of the shashthanta word ikaha. So when you say anukarana is when you are imitating something else. Okay, so for example, gavityayamaha ityasti, go iti ayamaha. He said go. Okay, it is within quotes. If you put it in English, it will be, you will put quotes around it. Okay, so that is where you are exactly phrasing something. Okay, it is not your own word, but you are imitating something else. So here in this sutra, the ikaha should be in quotes. So gunavriddhi shabdabhyam yatra gunavriddhi vidhiyete tatra ikaha. So the word ikaha will be added on to the sutra. That is all. Okay. So what does that word mean? The interpretation will come later. Okay. So sutre shashthyantasya anukaranat. It is an anukarana of shashthanta. Okay. So shabdaswarupa parataya. So it means the word ikaha. So ikaha sthane bhavati ityarthaha na. In generally, if the word is in shashthanta, we have the shashti sthane yoga. But here we are not interpreting the shashthanta. We are just saying that the shashthanta word called ikaha will be added there. Okay, Shabda Swarupa Parataya Napumsakat Sworluk. So in this paribhasha, the Bhashyakara discusses a lot, and there is the final siddhanta is called Padopasthiti Pakshaha. That is why Padam Upatisthate iti uktam dikshitaihi. Padopasthiti Pakshaha nama ikaha iti padam tatra upatisthate iti. So yatra yatra sutre gunaha vridhihi iti vidhiyate tatra tatra ikaha iti shashtyantam padam upatisthate. So you can see the quotes. So the ikaha is what is being anukarana there. So for example, if you have mider gunaha, midehe gunaha iti padadvayam sutre drishyate, angasya ityadhikarah asti. Shashtadhyayasya chaturthapadarabhya saptamadhyaya parisamapti paryantam. So this comes under the angadhikara. So angasya, the word is there. So then by this sutra, ikoguna vriddhi, the word ikaha comes and sits here. Okay, padam upatisthate. The word comes here. So we are not interpreting anything else. Now we have different words of the sutra. We combine them and derive the sutrartha. Similarly, sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho iti sutram asti. Sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho iti ekameva padam sutre shruyate. Gunaha iti anuvartate. Mider gunaha ityataha gunaha ityasya anuvrittihi. Angasya ityadhikaraha. Ikaha iti padam agacchati. So paribhasha balat ikaha iti padam atra agacchati. So this is how the paribhasha operates. Everywhere it brings in a word ikaha. Wherever it hears gunaha or vriddhihi, it brings in the word ikaha. Okay. So idanim iko guna vriddhi iti sutre ikas iti pratipadikam. Okay. So that is the shashti of ika and the ngas pratyaya of shashti. So tasya prathamanta nirdeshaha. So we are doing a prathama vibhakti on that word. For example, Ramaha iti. When you say Ramaha iti, it means the word Ramaha. Okay. So similarly, hatra ikaha iti. So ikas iti pratipadikasya prathamanta nirdeshaha. So ikas su. Whenever you are telling a particular word, you have to add su pratyaya to it. Apadam na prayunjita. So you add the pratyaya su to ikas. So anukaranatvat napumsakatvam. Samanye napumsakalingam. So swamor napumsaka adityanena sulopaha. Whenever there is a su or next to a napumsaka, it will be deleted. So ikas iti bhavati. Rutre visarge ikaha ityeva shruyate. So the key point he is making is ikaha is not shashtyanta. It is the prathamanta of the word ikas. Okay. So there is a reason we will see in the next thing where you just do not say gunavriddhi ikaha sthane bhavataha. Even though finally that is the meaning which appears, it cannot directly say that the gunavriddhi ikaha sthane bhavataha. Okay. Because there are other words of the sutra which have to be joined with this. The ikaha will associate itself with other words of the sutra and then be interpreted. Okay, you cannot directly say gunaha ikaha sthane bhavati. Atayeva ikaha iti shashtyantasya anukaranam prathamantaha sohu luk. Tacca sambhavati samanadhikarane idanim kimayatam yatra yatra sutre gunaha iti vriddhihi iti va shruyate tatra tatra ikaha iti padam yojyate upatisthate. Tacca nama saha ikshabdaha sambhavati samanadhikaranye igantasya angasya ityadi kramena sambadhyate. This is the key point. Ikaha will not operate by itself. It will not just say ikaha sthane. It will associate itself with other words of the sutra. Okay. For example, sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho iti sutram asti. Sutre sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho iti ekameva padam shruyate. Gunaha iti anuvritya labhyate. From mider gunaha we have the anuvritti of gunaha. There is adhikara of angasya. And there is ikaha, the word ikaha which was brought in by the paribhasha, iko guna vriddhi. Now, to derive the sutrartha, you relate all these to each other. Okay. So, sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho is saptami dvivachana. Sarvadhatuke ardhadhatuke cha parataha. When followed by a sarvadhatuka or ardhadhatuka. Gunaha bhavati. Guna is prathama, it means there is guna. Now, there are two things in shashti. Okay. Angasya ityasti, ikaha ityapi shashti asti. Shashti sthane yoga ityuchyate. Kasya angasya gunaha va, ikaha gunaha va. Is the guna for ikaha, that is ik, or is the guna for anga? Is a question. So sambhavati samanadhikaranye. So when both things refer to the same, we call it as the samanadhikaranya. There is ikaha and angasya. Ubhayam api shashtyantam. There is samanadhikaranya. Both of them refer to the same. Atah kim kriyate? Yena vidhis tadantasya. Visheshanam tadantasya samnya syat. Ityuktatvat. Ikaha iti angasya visheshanam. Okay. So igantasya angasya gunah syat sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho. So ikaha is treated as a visheshana to anga. And we derive the meaning igantasya angasya. Atah sutrarthah kaha igantasya angasya gunah syat sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho parayoho. So an anga which ends in ik will have guna when followed by sarvadhatuka and ardhadhatuka. Okay, so this is the meaning we derive when the word ikaha interacts with angasya. That is why the paribhasha is just providing the word ikaha. What happens if you just say directly iko gunavriddhi ityanena gunavriddhi ikaha sthane bhavataha? If you directly say there, if you don't see, the way we are interpreting here is the paribhasha will just add on the word ikaha. The word ikaha will then interact with other words and then the final sutrartha is derived. If you directly say ikaha sthane bhavati, then so sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho parayoho angasya gunaha bhavati. So any anga will get guna when followed by sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka. So the ik, if there is an ik in the guna, then it will get ik in the anga, then it will get guna. So that will be the meaning which is derived. Igantasya angasya ityarthaha na labhyate. So the guna here is intended for an anga which ends in ik, which happens when ik is a visheshana for anga and we use tadanta vidhi. Igantasya angasya. Okay. So for this they say padopasthitihi. You add the word ik, allow it to interact with others and then derive the meaning. But what is happening in mider gunaha or mrider vriddhihi? So mider gunaha mrider vriddhihi ityadautu samanadhikaranya asambhavat. Since it is impossible to have samanadhikaranya, midi mridjoho avayavasya ikaha iti sambadhyate. So you have mider gunaha, midehe gunaha ityasti, atrapi angasya ityasti, ikaha ityasti. Okay, so you have everything here. Now, so can we do igantasya angasya here? If there is samanadhikaranya, that is visheshanam visheshya. Wherever there is samanadhikaranya, one is a visheshana, one is a visheshya. If you have visheshana visheshya, you have tadanta vidhi. So can we interpret this sutra in the same way? Yatha purvatra igantasya angasya gunah syat sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho iti uktam. Tatra igantasya angasya midehe igantasya angasya gunah syat iti vaktum shakyate va. Can we say the anga of mid, which is iganta, will get guna? So when mid is iganta, when the anga of mid ends in an ik letter, is it possible? The anga of mid always ends in dakara. It does not anywhere end with ikara, right? So igantasya angasya iti atra vaktum na shakyate asambhavat, because the anga of mid is never iganta. Right? Igantasya angasya iti vaktum na shakyate. Atah kim kriyate? Igantasya mider angasya ityarthe krute asambhavaha. Atah midehe avayavasya ikaha. So here we say that iganta iti nochyate, tad avayavaha. Shashti has different meanings. Okay. So sthane ityarthaha bhavati avayava shashti iti uchyate. So an ik which is part of the anga of mid. So yatra mid dhatoho ange ikvarnaha asti tasya gunaha. So the ikara will get guna. Even though it is not at the end, we have guna for the ikara. So the ikaha is interpreted differently in different ways. Okay, that is why we cannot directly interpret as ikaha sthane in iko guna vriddhi. We say that it just introduces the word ikaha in all sutras. So depending on the sutra, the word ikaha is interpreted in different ways. Okay, so either it can go as a visheshana to others or it can be the visheshya. Okay. So purvatra igantasya angasya gunaha ityarthaha kritaha. Atra tu midehe angasya avayavasya ikaha. So ik, which is part of the anga, will get guna. Okay. So these two lines, are you Okay with it? Tacca sambhavati samanadhikaranye igantasya angasya ityadi kramena sambadhyate. Yatra samanadhikaranyam sambhavati tatra igantasya angasya ityadi kramena sambadhyate. मिरेर गुणः मृजेर वृद्धिः इत्यादौ तु सामानाधिकरण्य असंभवात् मिदि मृज्योः अवयवस्य इकः इति संबध्यते. मिरेर गुणः इट इज द विशेष्य बिकॉज वी आर डायरेक्टली सेइंग इकः गुणः. ओके, सो इन सार्वधातुक अर्धधातुकयोः इट इज अ विशेषण. वी आर सेइंग इगन्तस्य अंगस्य गुणः. द अंग इज गेटिंग गुण. द अंग आल्सो हैपेंस टू बी इगन्त. ओके, whereas in this we are directly saying ikaha gunaha. So it is a visheshya here and a visheshana in the other case. Yattu ikaeva sthane staha iti pracha vyakhyatam. Yaccha tattika krita uktam aniyama prasange niyamarthamidam ityadi. Tat sarvam bhashya virodhad upekshim. Okay, so he goes on to the pracham matam. Pracha here refers to again the prakriya kaumarikara Ramachandra Bhatta. Tena kimuktam gunavriddhi ikaeva sthane staha. So this is what the meaning that is the meaning which we also thought initially, right? So a guna or vriddhi will always be replaced ik. Okay. So ikaeva sthane staha iti pracha vyakhyatam. Yaccha tattika krita uktam aniyama prasange niyamartham idam. For example, you have a case, say for example, sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoh tatra gunaha vidhiyate tatra gunaha antyasya bhavati ityuchyate. So antyasya ikaha anikascha gunavriddhyoh praptayoh. The ending letter might either be ik or be anik, not ik. So if we just apply alontyasya, the general rule which determines adesha is alontyasya. Shashti nirdishtasya antyasya ala adeshah syat. Right? So even in mirer gunaha, if you don't apply the paribhasha, antyasya bhavati ityuchyate. So there is an aniyama. There is no specification there what the final letter has to be. So it can be ik, it can be something else. So aniyame niyamam ha kriyate. Ikaha eva sthane bhavataha. Guna vriddhi can be only in case of ik. Okay. So antyasya ikaha anikascha guna vriddhyoh praptayoh ikaha eva guna vriddhi bhavataha iti niyamaha. Ika eva sthane staha iti pracha vyakhyatam. Prakriya kaumudyam vyakhyayate. Tat yaccha tattika krita uktam aniyama prasange niyamarthamidam. Tadeva. Any paribhasha is aniyame niyamakarini paribhasha. Tat sarvam bhashya virodhad upekshyam. He says that directly goes against the bhashya. Tachesha paksham doshayitva padopasthiti pakshasya eva bhashye samarthitatvat ityahuhu. So what does the bhashyakara do? Okay, so the bhashyakara has three pakshas which he explores here. He calls it the tachesha, tadapavada and padopasthiti. So how he explores and how you have to interrelate these two paribhashas. There is a paribhasha alontyasya, right? So if there is an adesha, it will be for the antya. And now there is a paribhasha which is iko gunavriddhi, which says gunavriddhi ikaha. So what is the relation between these two? Is iko gunavriddhi an apavada to alontyasya? Does it mean it will overrule alontyasya? Or you first apply alontyasya and you say antyasya bhavati, and then you apply iko gunavriddhi, say antyasya ikaha. So if there is an ikaha at the end, you apply iko gunavriddhi. Or is it that it does not interpret? It just says ikaha. You add the word ikaha. So there are three options which the bhashyakara explores. The first option is that iko gunavriddhi is an apavada to alontyasya. So alontyasya does not operate at all. Wherever there is guna or vriddhi, you just do it for ik. Okay, is one option. So then there is a second option which is called tachesha, which means you first apply alontyasya and you get the meaning antyasya alaha bhavati, antyasya bhavati, that the adesha guna or vriddhi will replace the final letter, and then you bring in ika guna vriddhi and say it will replace only if the final letter is ik. Okay, so that is the second option. And the third option is padopasthiti paksha. That is, it does not interpret, it does not either overrule alontyasya or operate after it. It just brings in the word ikaha. Okay, so that can be interpreted as per the situation. So those are the three pakshas which the Bhashyakara analyzes, and he finally says it is a padopasthiti paksha. So tachesha paksham dushayitva padopasthiti pakshasya bhashye samarthitatvat. So tachesha nama alontyasya ityasya sheshah. Tasya sheshah. Tasya nama alontyasya iti sutrasya sheshah. Nama atra visheshanam ityarthah svikriyate. Which means we first do alontyasya. Alontyasya iti pravartya. Tataha tad visheshanattvena iko gunavriddhi. Which means you operate both of these. You operate alontyasya and operate iko gunavriddhi as a visheshana to it. Which means gunavriddhi antyasya ikaha bhavataha. So if there is antyasya bhavataha, ikaha bhavataha. So it will be for the end when that ending letter is ik. Okay. So if you take this interpretation, that is what he means. Ikaha eva sthane staha ityukte. Antyasya ikaha anikascha praptayoho. So if you just operate alontyasya, it will say that the vriddhi can be the ending letter, whatever the letter is. So then the iko guna vriddhi states that it will operate only if the ending letter is ik. Which means the sutras can operate if the anga ends in ik and not if it is in between. So in this case, mider gunaha. How do you apply this to mider gunaha? You have mider gunaha. If you apply alontyasya, it says the final letter will get guna. And then you add antyasya, it will say there is guna when the final letter is ik. So the final letter is never ik in case of mid. Ataha gunaha bhavitum narhati. Ikarase gunaha na bhavatyeva. So such interpretation is flawed. That is why he says tachesha paksham dushayitva. He does not accept tachesha paksha. Padopasthiti pakshasya bhashye samarthitatvat. So that is why such interpretations cannot be accepted. Okay. So in some cases, you apply it, ikaha eva gunaha ityuchyate. Kvachittu igantasya angasya ityapi kriyate. You cannot also rule out that. In some cases, we say it is when the anga is iganta, we have guna or vriddhi. In some cases, we directly say angavayavasya ikaha gunaha vriddhihi. So both these can be achieved only when we refer to padopasthiti paksha, which means that the sutra just brings in the word ikaha, and then the interpretation of that ikaha will depend on the context. Okay. So bhashye tadeva uktam tachesha paksham dushayitva padopasthiti pakshasya eva bhashye samarthitatvat ityahuhu. So atayeva prachayaduktam ikaha eva sthane staha iti bhashya virodhat upeksham. Saying this, he adds one more. Tachesha pakshepi dushanodharastu shabdakaustubhe spashtikritaha asmabhihi. The Bhashyakara says tachesha paksha will not work. He says it is only padopasthiti paksha. Kintu tachesha pakshe api. Even when you interpret it this way, that is, you first operate alontyasya and then operate iko gunavriddhi. So even in that case, dushanodharaha. So there is a problem because this such interpretation will not work with mider gunaha or mider vriddhihi. So he says even in those cases, it has been resolved. Where shabdakaustubhe spashtikritaha asmabhihi. Shabdakaustubhaha iti dikshitaihi virachitam mahabhashya vyakhyanam. Dikshita has written a vyakhyana directly on the Mahabhashya in that krama which is called Shabdakaustubha. So there he debates he establishes that Tachesha Paksha is also possible. Okay. That is Dikshita's mata, but he does not elaborate on it here. The Bhashya Siddhanta is Padopasthitihi. That is why he has given the Sutrartha as Gunavriddhi Shabdabhyam Yatra Gunavriddhi Vidhiyete Tatra Ikaha iti Shashyantam Padam Upatisthate.